Today, we are going to talk about something that has been on the rise in headlines, on social media, and in discussion around us, and that is LGBT freedom. Before we begin, let me ask you a question. How many of you have seen or heard about LGBT issues being debated online or in the news recently? Right, this is something we all come across these days. We live in a time where calls for freedom and equality are louder than ever. Among them, one of the most debated is the call for LGBT freedom. Freedom to love, to live, and to be accepted legally and socially. While that may seem the effort in a multicultural society, the real question is, at what cost? Before we go any further, let us be clear about what it is. You can see in this visual aid, what is LGBT? LGBT stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. These terms are the terms that describe someone's sexual orientation or gender identity. When we say LGBT freedom, we are referring to the legal and social rights given to individuals who identify as a part of the LGBT community. These rights include being free from discrimination and being able to express themselves openly, including through laws that allow same-sex marriage. In many countries, such as Canada, the United States, and the United Kingdom, these freedoms are already recognized. However, in Malaysia, where religion, culture, and traditional values deeply shape our way of life, this issue becomes far more sensitive and complex. And that is why we are here. And that is exactly why we are here. My name is SHAFEYAH BINTI NORKHAN, and this is my partner.
My name is NORKHAN. ZULKIFLI.
We strongly believe that LGBT freedom, if pushed too far without balance or sensitivity to our religious and social structure, can bring more harm than good. It can provoke strong backlash from the religious community, and even worse, it can divide our society.
So let me begin by saying this is not about hate. This is about a deep understanding about a clash has happened between the two worldviews, which is LGBT freedoms and also a long-held belief of religious communities, which is as Muslim. So let's take a look on this poster. So there's a scale here. Okay, on this side there's a symbol of LGBT, and on the other side there's a symbol of Islam. So, but if you look very closely, so this scale is not balanced. So this is what happening today in our society. Because when LGBT rights have been seen visible in public spaces, so our voice, which is Muslim voices, are being ignored and even being silenced by the other society. So I believe that LGBT freedom can provoke a strong reaction from religious communities. So Islam has teach us a clear principle about family, gender, and also sexuality. So they are not just a personal opinion, they are part of our faith, part of our way of life. So when LGBT has been promoted in schools, in public spaces, and also in media social, so it creates a discomfort and confusion among Muslims. Okay, so this is not just a disagreement, this is a deep conflict. When one group sees as a freedom and another group sees as a moral challenge of their belief. So, according to NORKHAN and others, which is in their research that conducted in 2016, so Islam's rejection of homosexual is not just a morality. It directly affects key aspects of our faith, which is marriage, family, inheritance, and also modesty. This shows that this issue is very serious and far-reaching in Islam. My second point that I really want to stop is LGBT freedom can become a threat to religious freedom, which is this can lead to a bigger consensus, which is this has happened in many places, which is in schools, religious and individuals has been pushed to support LGBT if they don't support that ideologies, they risk to be called hateful or even being punished. So what can we do to prevent this happening? So in several Muslim countries, which is in Saudi Arabia, Iran, also Nigeria, homosexual acts are being treated as a serious crime, which is even sometimes can be punished with death penalty. So in Malaysia also, we have our own Sharia laws, which is clearly state that a person who are involved with sodomy, cross-dressing, also in the same-sex relationship can be punished with a serious punishment and can be stated as a criminal offense. So we are not asking for to hate or exclude anyone. We are simply asking for a balance. LGBT freedom should not come at cost for religious freedom.
Another important issue to consider is how LGBT freedom can create social division among friends, families, and even communities. Malaysia is a mix of cultures, religion, and belief. Not everyone sees LGBT freedom the same way. While some urban liberal groups might support LGBT freedom, many others are strongly against it, not because out of hate, but because it goes against what they have been taught. Do you think everyone in Malaysia shares the same opinion about LGBT rights?
No.
Yes. Most likely no, and that is where the conflict begins. As you can see in this visual aid, one freedom to cite. Okay. A real example is what happened during the Georgetown Festival in Penang back in 2018. Portraits of LGBT activists were displayed in a photo exhibition. Some people supported the idea as freedom of expression. Others demanded the portraits be taken down, saying it was offensive to their values. Eventually, the photos were removed, and that decision sparked even more arguments across the country. So instead of encouraging tolerance, it triggered division. Moreover, have you ever seen an online comment war about LGBT issues? Exactly. It happens so often now. It is undeniable that LGBT issues are one of the hottest arguments online. We have seen friendship break, online fight explode, and keyboard warriors going all out. And if LGBT freedom becomes a national policy, these arguments will not just stay online. These conflicts could spill into real life, sparking protests, public outrage, and even chaos. Yet, the impact does not stop there. It goes deeper. Some people may begin to hold back their views out of fear of being judged, while others will grow increasingly hurt and frustrated, feeling like no one truly understands them. And instead of harmony, we end up in a society that is divided, uncomfortable, and unstable. When people cannot speak freely and different opinions are met with anger instead of understanding, we lose the foundation of a respectful society. That is why we need to find a middle ground, one that respects individual rights, while also preserving the values that hold our society together.
So in the end, this is not about hate, it's about harmony. So LGBT rights, if not being handled with care, can create a serious conflict between religious freedoms and also can divide our society. We are not saying that they should not have their rights, but those rights should not silence others. So before we end our presentation, so we want you all to shout this slogan with us. 2 times, okay? Okay. It's okay to shout louder. So, okay. 1, 2, 3.
Say no to LGBT. Say no to LGBT.
Okay, that's all from us.
Nice. Alright, questions. Ibtisam here? Okay, Ibtisam. You can choose one of them and ask a question. You can use their visual aid to ask a question. Audience, make sure you have your questions. Even for the forum.
So that's why Western has more supporter of the LGBT, and not only that, but because they also their culture is very open, as you know, right? So they easily being influenced to LGBT, and that's why there's so much transgender, lesbian, and so on in the Western country rather than Muslim country, rather than Malaysia.
Okay, is that your question, Lisa? Okay. Next question. Nurul Aisha. Where are you, Nurul Aisha? Aisha, are you here? No. So somebody else? Zulaikha, are you here? No, also. Where's everybody? Where is Nurul Natasha? Okay, Natasha. You can choose. You can choose. You have to ask. Who is that? Hanani, yes. Hanani.
You guys talked about the consequences of LGBT freedom. So, in your opinion, do you think, does that mean the government should completely banish the LGBT community?
So to answer your question, I think that government should not banish the LGBT communities, because even though we have our own rights, according to Article 8 of Federal Constitution, so we should also take note for our Sharia laws also. So it's not because they should not have their rights. They can do they can establish that LGBT, but they should not promote that to others, because it's not aligned with our the constitution. So that I'm answering your question.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thanks for the question. So my question to both of you is, in the Malaysian context, yeah, what is the biggest threat that the LGBTQ community has towards the country? In what way are they very dangerous, or which aspect is the most dangerous when it comes to them?
Can we discuss for a second?
Just for a minute, yes, but answer together, yeah. So the audience think of that as well, yeah. What is the biggest threat, yeah, or in what way are they threatening society? Like how are they dangerous? There are many ways they could be dangerous, right? So which is the most harmful way? Yeah, okay, so
Okay, me, I believe LGBTQ communities can threat our societies by we live in a country where majority is Muslim, and our official religion is Islam in the country. So when LGBTQ arrive and spread in Malaysia, their influence can influence our faith in Islam. I mean, of course, if we have enough and strong faith, we will not be influenced by them. But not everyone have a strong faith in our religion. So if a person did not have enough faith to Islam, maybe they will get easily influenced by the LGBTQ communities.
So religiously. Okay. How about you?
I strongly believe that if the LGBTQ community is spread or reformed in our society, so they will promote such liberal society. For example, like women should not wear their hijab, right? So if we practice that liberal, so it's against our religions, and also it can create confusion between others people, and also our country can become